Welcome back, friends. This is Eddie with Joe's Gaming and Electronics, here to show you a good time. How to repair a speaker. So we're going to be replacing the left speaker today. The right side is as follows. I have this torn up. The only difference, will be this button here. So you're just going to pull the plastic switch directly up. Sorry about my hands if they're ugly. I was painting yesterday, so it turned out alright, I'd say. But anyways, enough of me. Let's get into it. Let's flip her over. I like to kind of fold that up. So we take our ear pad off by simply sliding out towards myself and then up. Place that to the side. Next, we're gonna have two strips of tape here and here. So if we just flip the top up and carefully work it up. There we go. Place that to the side. If you have some glue left over like I do here, or a tape, we just go ahead, work that with our nail. Get a little leverage. Sweet. Now we discard that. Now we have 1, 2 screws. Alrighty. So we simply righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, loosen them up. Now the thing about the silver unit compared to the black is that the silver one, the screws are not magnetic, so it's kind of a pain to work with sometimes. So you're just careful so that they don't fall into the speaker, because you can't really pull them up with your screwdriver. You kind of have to manually get in there. Flip. There we go. Sweet. Now flip this over. You can grab a plastic pry tool, and I'm here to tell you all that if you need any parts or tools used in this video, link in the description below, friends. If you don't feel comfortable doing this repair, which I'm sure everyone watching this will be able to do it, because if I can do it, you all can. But if you don't feel comfortable and you want a professional such as myself to touch your unit and bless them with the power of electricity so they work again, feel free to send them in. All the links in the description below. So we grab a plastic pry tool and we kind of just get in there, find a nice little spot so we can work this up, right? And get it started. You can kind of peel that up with your hand, put that to the side. Sweet, bingo bango bongo, we're making great progress. So we got this in the way, right, friends? Well, we have 2 Phillips screws right here, a ribbon that disconnects here, and a ribbon that's soldered. We'll leave the soldered part so we have less work. And go ahead and take these 2 screws out. I am using a 2mm Phillips screwdriver. A 1.5 would probably work as well. I just kind of like the larger grip that the 2mm gives you on these. So you can go ahead. There's this tape right here. We're going to want to work that up. What can help you is some beautiful tweezers. Link below if you need them. Also, if you want to just have a tool kit that does it all. So we just remove that tape, place it to the side for later. I'm here to show you this beautiful piece of technology. You get your tweezers. Love it, right? You got your screwdriver, and you got all the tips you ever want. How beautiful is this? I don't know, I'm amazed by it. It is truly beautiful. I personally use this for my own personal projects, and I absolutely love it. So if you guys are interested, links below. Just a kit that rules it all. Anyways, back to business. We can go ahead and carefully, there's double-sided tape here, pry up on that, and careful and mind this ribbon right here for the Google button. This is only on the version 2s. The version 1s of the QC35s will not have this, so you have nothing to worry about. But the versions 2s do. So we go ahead and carefully work that out. Sweet. Now, what helps is if you open up your headphones like that, right? You can go ahead carefully bend that back through there, kind of close it up, and now it's out of your way while you work. Nice little tip and trick for you all. Sweet. So now I like to move all these little cables out of the way, and we can go ahead and grab some flux, dab it on this. This is where the speaker connects to, and you can refer to this where red is positive on the board. There's a little positive right there, and copper is going to go on the negative. Also, you can just watch how I reassemble if you forget. And everyone's in business. So we go ahead and warm up our soldering iron. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, there we go. Sweet. And now we can unsolder that. Bingo, bango, bongo. Make sure you blow, because this stuff can be stinky. You don't want to breathe it in, especially if it's with lead, because there's a rosin core lead free, which is what we use. But sometimes the manufacturer won't use that, so you want to just be cautious of that. Next, grab our heat gun. I like 200 degrees for this particular job. Sorry about that. So we're just gonna work our way around at 200 degrees. I have about 70 airflow. Well, this is using our machines, but just about any heat gun will work as long as you're careful. Work in a medium speed and just heat around, and just kind of watch for it, for the plastic, right? You don't want to go too hard on it, but you want to heat it up a good amount. Now, once you think you got it heat up enough, we can go ahead, and nice little trick, you grab your screwdriver that you're working with, and there's this little access port here. You can go ahead and insert that screwdriver in, and it'll give you a nice leverage point to work this cover off. There we go, and we just apply an even amount of pressure consistently, and just kind of work it. Beautiful. Now you're going to be cautious while that's still soldered. This goes through and solders in, so we don't pull all the way off. Go ahead, get in here, unsolder the two wires. And remember, I'll just go ahead and tell you guys where each one goes, and then we just work that the rest of the way up. So the copper will go here, and the red will go here. So just remember, make a mental note for yourself, however you want to view it. I'll just remember that where the blue went, that's where the red went. But you could just refer, just kind of take a mental note. I like to take pictures personally for this sort of thing. I like on my phone. So what we can do is, I just went ahead and pulled that wire out. We can go ahead and grab a flathead screwdriver or whatever you have available and work that old glue out of there. Use a little bit of heat if necessary. This is still warm enough to where I could work it without reheating it. And we just kind of open that hole back up. You don't have to, you can save and reuse your old wire. I just find it's easier to go ahead and replace this while you're in here. Just a cleaner job. Sweet, now that we have that cleaned up, go ahead and insert our new wire, just the 2-core, and put that aside for later. Now, we're gonna go ahead and grab that same heat gun. Same temperature, 200 degrees will work just fine. And we're gonna carefully heat around this speaker. Beautiful, that's all we should need. What I actually like to do is go ahead and heat up where the cover was, that old glue, and it'll make it easier for us to peel. If your rubber falls off like that, that's fine. You could even remove it beforehand if you want. Just all personal preference. Now we go ahead and grab a flathead screwdriver and kind of work that glue out. You don't go deep, you just go on the surface and kind of work that glue, right? And then you could make your incision. And just keep working that. Getting that glue out. Be careful not to hurt yourself. And we just kind of make that little incision there and pull the rest of that out. And go ahead and grab that old glue out just so it makes a better seal for when we go to reinstall our new speaker. Go ahead and work that glue out. Beautiful. Nothing like it, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. We go ahead and we grab the new speaker driver. Now, for the sake of this video, I'll just be putting this old one back in because this one is fine. But once you get your new one, it will be all cleaned up of this glue, so you won't have any of that. I'll just take a couple seconds here to clean it up. Now that you have your beautiful, clean speaker driver, I like to grab a little bit of super glue, not a lot, and I usually like to put 4 dabs in the corners. Very little, very little. I gotta reiterate that. And we go ahead and position the speaker to where it was. If you forget where it was, you just drop that in, and since we cleaned all the glue out, it's gonna sit nice and tight and flush. And we kind of position all these points to where it solders on the board there. So these points kind of close to that. And now the super glue will hold it in place. And for the seal and extra holding protection, we grab our B7000, link below if you need. And we just carefully work that all the way around. Less is more. Just get enough. You don't want to overdo this. And we just work that all the way around, making a beautiful seal when this hardens. And now that's done, and it's all beautiful, dare I say, you can go ahead and solder on the wire. I'll be using the new one I made, and I like to always dab up with flux, because remember, flux is friend. Grab our soldering iron, and from the inside here, make sure you, from the inside, solder this side of the wire through. Remember, copper was further away, and then the red was by the blue. And what will help us here, some tweezers. Beautiful. Remember to blow. Now, I use the same principle to this cover as I did to the speaker. I want to put a couple dabs of super glue in that rail it kind of rides in. We'll use 3. That'll be plenty. And now, the rest of the area we'll fill in with some B7000. It's fairly similar to the glue they use. When the glue the factory uses, it really hardens up. You know, like, honestly, not my style. I like the B7000. It's easier to work with when it's cured. Just so if we're ever in here again, you know, it'll be nice. So then we go ahead and slide that down, leaving a little bit of slack in there. Pinch down here, let it fold over, and just push this down into place. Now we could align it with the 2 dowels here that we pulled this off of, right? And if it aligns, it'll go ahead and sit down in place and those dowels will pop back out. And for the super glue to set, I like to hold this down for, let's say, like 15 seconds, applying force on the whole thing and letting that super glue kind of bite down, hold it in place, making the seal. Beautiful. Now we can go ahead and grab some B7000 and apply it to where this wire was and seal it around. Beautiful. Love it. Now we can trim the excess. Now an easy way of kind of getting this perfect is you kind of lay it down, mark out how much you need. Be like, all right, that's good. And then you could grab your soldering iron. Melt that rubber shielding away. Go ahead and put that slack back in there. And we can grab your favorite cutting device. I have some very nice scissors here. We'll just go ahead and cut that beautifully. That was beautiful. I don't have my snips on me currently, but it will work. Just to show you that you really can use just about anything as long as it's sharp and beautiful. But we'll go ahead and pull this out. Grab our beautiful snipping device and cut that rubber away. Beautiful. Discard of that. And now, Flux's friend, apply it to the tips so we can re-tin. And now we just grab our soldering iron. Same temperature. The soldering iron, I have it at 740 degrees. That's where I like to keep it. And it's kind of beautiful for tinning, getting the job done fast. So now, we apply that tin, right? And that flux will just beautifully allow it to absorb. It's kind of messy there. Grab a little more and do the other one as well. Beautiful. Not my most prettiest tinning job, but for the sake of this video, it will work. Home you can make it much more beautiful. I need to clean my tip, but the steel wool isn't around, so we're working with what we got. Apologize for that. But now, if you remember, the copper went to the negative, and the red went to the positive. Beautiful. Make sure those points are not touching. Again, I would not personally send these solder points out. It's just for the sake of the video. Again, I just want to get this done for you all. Beautiful. Now go ahead, open that up, slide this guy through carefully, put it back, and we could, oh hey now, easy there buddy. We could slide in this ribbon the same way we took it out. Go ahead, hold your fingers. What can help you, believe it or not, is those tweezers. Bam, there we go. And we kind of get down in here, line the AUX into the hole. There we go, rubber protruding nicely. And once we align that, the holes inside of here will line up. Feel me? Now we grab those 2 smaller black screws and we go ahead and insert them. Interesting. Lost some magnetism. There we go. There we go. And now don't go all the way on the first one, so that we can kind of adjust to get this one in. Now we can crank that one down and crank this one down. You don't need a lot of force on this, just so it's nice and tight. We could go ahead, pat down that tape. Beautiful. And we could tuck this right back in. Now that little rubber piece that ran away from us, we go ahead and there's going to be a little notch here. See that notch lines up with that little part, and it kind of excuse me, it almost kind of clips into that. Now we grab our cover, aligning this little hole with the microphone, noise cancellation microphone, and we go ahead and loosely put that in, right? Flip over. And now a little trick, since the silver ones, this is why I chose the silver unit, the silver ones aren't magnetic. We grab it with our tweezers, right? And we guide it into the hole. Beautiful. We grab our screwdriver, and now we don't run the risk of having that screw fall out of place, right? So it's truly beautiful. Grab our next screw, place it into place, grab that screwdriver, bam. It makes doing this job a breeze, I'll tell you that much. Now, we check, it's all nice and level, everything's working, we like it. So, go ahead and grab this little cover here. So I like to always redo the tape, so I use my roll. 4 to 5 mil tape will work. Just about anything will, double-sided tape. I like this 3M 5 mil for this specific job. Grab our cutting device, and we cut approximate pieces here. We kind of see where that old residue was, and line it up the same way that went. And here, we'll put a smaller piece, and this rides right on that. Beautiful. Now, as you noticed, one of my favorite tools, tweezers, will go ahead and help us get started on pulling that padding, the paper cover off. Beautiful. Same goes for this side. Beautiful. And now we go ahead, line this up, tap it into place, tap it into place, and now it's held in, and we're never going to worry about that. So now, go ahead and slip the ear pad on that one hook, and we just kind of press into the rest of the hooks all around with our nail, kind of pushes it back and then lets it slide in. Keep doing that all the way around, and bam, we just completed that. You might be wondering, shoot, Ed, look at that little divot in there. Hard to tell. Well, it's the beauty of this plastic. It will go back to its form. So let me show you. Hopefully this camera will get, you see that, right? That little divot right about there. Well, watch this. Same temperature. Kind of go over it, let off, go over it, let off, go over it, let off. It really doesn't need much. And now, look at that, like nothing happened. So it's the beautiful part of working on this type of plastic. I don't know exactly the proper term for this plastic, but it'll always make your job look beautiful in the end. Sorry about that. So the only difference is if we were doing this to the right side is, so we'd have a button sitting up here that we could just pull off, up. You can see it'll sit on that rod right there. And the only difference is we can remove this ribbon completely and leave the charger port in. And what I like to do is use that same plastic pry tool, right? And we get under there carefully and just pop it up. There we go. It'll break free of that glue pretty easily. Pop it up, and there's gonna be some double-sided tape that we can help work. Carefully work that out. Bam, we'll have that removed, and then we could go ahead, unsolder that, do our whole process, and then replacing it, you'll kind of see how this lines up. This little cushiony part will fit into where that square is, right? It makes it very simple. So you just carefully plug one side in, go ahead, have that taped down, go down here, plug this side in, just carefully. If you need, use your plastic pry tool, another one of my favorites. Carefully align that. You could use the glue as a guide almost. plug that in. It's fighting me, but you do not want to force this, or you cause damage to your clip. There we go. Sometimes it'll actually help if you clean that glue off, but that's that. Tap that down, and that's literally the only difference to this side, besides having a little rubber piece there that you'll remove and a rubber piece on that. Very simple. Anyone can do it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section below. Last final touch was putting this tape back. Not necessary. It went on this side here. For this, I would have done it, but for the sake of this video just being a quick tutorial, this is a parts unit to us, so we don't need to fix it. But for the sake of the video, you kind of will have everything laid out cleaner than I will here, and you can easily get it done. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to put them below in the video. If you want to have us repair it for you, links below for that. Send it in a repair service, we'll gladly take care of you. Or if you want any parts or tools that I used, go ahead, links below.